No, this is finished. This government will take shape, and all of the, I mean, everything was contingent on, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of insider information leaked to the press over the last couple of weeks. The biggest stumbling blocks were essentially getting the Greens on board so that their climate, their temperature reduction program to keep global temperatures below 1.5 degrees centigrade was adhered to in the general government policy planning. The FDP had an objection as well over phasing out coal-fired energy. Excuse me. That's been resolved as well. There's a date for that that's been set, and so at this point, it's just about assigning ministerial portfolios to all of the three parties, and there's already enough information in the German press to indicate that the Greens, the FDP, and the SPD are getting the ministerial portfolios that they want, and what was predicted. The FDP is going to get the finance ministry. There was a lot of grumbling about that because they're fiscally, even though they're considered a liberal party, they're to the right of the CDU economically.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of outside observers who are less familiar with the intricacies of German politics, the big issue here really is one of the major faces of international politics. Angela Merkel is leaving after 16 years in office. That's a very, very long time to be in office in a coalition democratic election system like the one we have in Germany. Olaf Scholz, the new chancellor, what kind of impact will this have potentially on Germany and on world politics, do you think?
Scholz is already a very recognized hand in German politics, particularly in terms of his collaboration with Angela Merkel in the outgoing government. Scholz is really regarded as an SPD version of Merkel. He's very amiable, but he exerts a strong hand when he needs to. However, there are some doubts and concerns about his ability to discipline his coalition regarding the coronavirus crisis, because the FDP have indicated that they cannot abide by any kind of policies that would allow the federal government to determine state health policy in Germany. In Germany, the states are decentralized. It's a decentralized political system, and the states conduct a lot of their own policies and most of their domestic affairs. They're like mini countries, and that's a big deal for the FDP, and it's going to be the biggest problem for Olaf Scholz in governing the country moving forward.
Right. And what about regarding the foreign relations and the EU? Merkel was largely considered sort of the woman at the helm of the EU, or maybe even the Western world at some point. Do you think Olaf Scholz will be able to sort of step into her shoes as a major international figure on the international scene?
Scholz doesn't have Angela Merkel's personal charisma, but he shares her commitment to Europe, and he shares her commitment to the transatlantic alliance with the United States. The SPD remains firmly committed to partnering with the Americans in German foreign policy. We really don't expect to see any big changes in that regard. The Americans are very anxious to make good with Scholz. There's more symmetry between the SPD and the Democrats.